Hi, this is me again, Chewy. I am here today with my friend Ashley, a self advocate. Um, I'll let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself. Ashley?
Hi, I'm Ashley Matthew. I'm a self advocate from Wisconsin.
Okay. Um, Ashley, how did you become a self advocate?
So, I started the Jumpstart program, which is an advocacy program for people with disabilities, and it teaches advocacy skills. And then I went on to doing Partners in Policymaking, which is an advocacy program for people with disabilities. And I just kept taking opportunities and speaking around the state, and that's how I became an advocate.
Cool. So, what are you currently working on?
I'm currently working on teaching Safe and Free, which teaches abuse and safety skills to people with disabilities. I'm also on the board for people with developmental disabilities. I'm also on so many other committees, like the Self Determination Channel for BPDD. So I'm on so many of different committees and stuff right now.
What state are you in right now?
I am in Wisconsin.
Okay. That's what I forgot to ask you. Um, Ashley's from Wisconsin, and she is involved with the disability community. And I invited her today to ask her some questions about our community. Ashley, what do you think needs to change in our community?
I think that we just need to get out more and have more opportunities for people with disabilities to get jobs in the community. And I think that there just needs to be more more time to be with friends and more time to just learn things like getting a job in the community or being part of different advocacy organizations, and just kind of giving them the opportunity to do that, and just let them fail and then grow and just be themselves.
Is there anything in particular you would like to change in the culture we live in today?
Well, I would like there to be more awareness about mental health and people's well-being in society, and more focused on maybe getting with different legislators more focused on mental health and getting more healthcare professionals for people with disabilities.
What are some of the obstacles that you see within our community?
The obstacles is for people with disabilities, you mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be their obstacle with their disability. It can be just finding the right job to fit them and pick a job that they actually like. And just, believing in themselves and feeling like they can overcome anything that's, in front of them, like that they can do anything they put their mind to, they, regardless of their disability. I think you have to kind of overcome that obstacle of yourself, not having yourself get in the way of that you want to do this and that you can do anything you put your mind to. Sometimes you can prove the people that stand in your way wrong, but the hardest thing to break is yourself sometimes.
Yeah. Um, so you are also a person with a disability, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, how was it growing up as a person with a disability?
Well, it was very hard because people looked at me different because I am on the spectrum and I have a mild case of autism. So people like would see me and think that I have like cool clothes and stuff and be my friend. And then all of a sudden they just decided to ditch me when they found out that I had a disability and that my social cues or my disability wouldn't be what they wanted. So they would ditch me for other people and stuff. Or people would take pictures with me and post them because I had a disability. So they're actually trying to get like popularity by being my friend instead of just being my friend. So once I did tell them I did have autism, they treated me differently, and they didn't really want to be my friend. So I learned that I need to find people that actually respect me and stuff, because a lot of people have not judged me in my life.
How did it feel to be used like that? I mean, because I've had that happen in the past, and I feel used. You know, I mean, how did you feel?
I felt humiliated after a while. I did think that that person was my friend, and actually saw she wanted to go to the movie theater, and I actually saw her. She was at the movie theater. She told me she couldn't go to the movie theater with me, and and then I saw her at the movie theater with someone else, and she would take pictures of me with with and then try to broadcast them like I was like she was trying to get fame. And I felt betrayed. But and then she'd act like, oh my gosh, this is you, she's just the sweetest, kindest person. And I think she was trying to cover it up like she was doing a good thing when actually she was humiliating me. Um, and I think if you think you just learn that the bullies in your life could do that to you, and then you just learn not to do that to other people, like use other people and treat them like that ever again, because it really hurts.
Um, is there any other challenges that you have faced in the past? Um, because of your disability?
Well, just people looking at me like I don't have a disability and not understanding when I have certain social skills and stuff like that, and not understanding that that I have certain social skills, and that that I don't have autism right on my forehead. I don't have a visible disability like Down syndrome. So a lot of times they think, oh, why is she acting this way, or why is she doing this? And they forget that I actually have a disability too, and that I'm dealing with everything that everyone else is dealing with. Even though that person has it more than me, doesn't mean I'm not dealing with the same disability. Sometimes people don't understand. They'll give more sensitivity to the person that has disability more than me, but I still have it, and I'm still working through overcoming their disability and overcoming my disability. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Um, so you say you work for the Alliance or you've done the self-advocacy. Um, tell me what have you learned through that and how have you applied that to your life?
So just like being professional and always kind of staying on topic, and just speaking up for what I believe in. Sometimes it takes 5 times for my opinion to be heard, but I have to speak my mind, no matter if it upsets people. I just have to do it, because if I want it to be good for people with disabilities, I have to be like, I have to do it for people with disabilities. So if I'm doing something like plain language, or if I'm saying about mental health, I'm doing it for the good of people with disabilities, and that I need to keep going forward, even though other people might not agree with it.
Okay. Um, so we talked about a little bit about your disability. Um, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I think that I'm going to just keep working on. I mean, I have a lot of issues that I want to work on for mental health and for different things, that I think that I need to stick to one right now. But I think I'm just going to keep diving into making the lives better for people with disabilities, and just keep, doing things, to make their lives better, and just, getting involved in different agencies, and just kind of doing things, different committees, and just trying to get the word out. And eventually I would like to do different things for different national things for other people. So I think it's going to keep growing out of Wisconsin too.
Okay. Besides the the looking at you in a funny way or wanting to take pictures with you, is there any broader issue that you see within the disability community that should be addressed?
I just think that you shouldn't talk in baby voice when you talk to people. You should talk to them like a human. Like, don't say, "Hi, how are you today?" like in a baby voice. You should talk to them like a real human. And you shouldn't call out their disability when you talk to them. Like, for example, you shouldn't be like, "This is an autistic person," or "This is," because it hurts people's feelings. And people shouldn't be rewarded for simple tasks. It can be like, "Oh, good job," but like not like, "Oh, you stood under a light." Other people can do that too. And then they kind of, when people like, doctors and people do that, it hurts our feelings, like, or we can't do things that they think that all people with disabilities can't do things. And there's a spectrum of people with disabilities. Some people can do this, and some people can do that, and that it shouldn't be that people with disabilities aren't smart. It should be that they are smart, and that we all have unique abilities to bring to the table. So I think that that's really what's missing. And all the stereotypes about autism, I think that all of us have really intelligence, and but it's such a broad spectrum. So I just encourage you to get to know the individual person instead of the disability, because we are not our disability. We are people first. So I just encourage you to do that.
Okay. Do you feel that within the autistic community or within different communities in the disability community, do you feel that there is tension because we don't understand our different disabilities, or do you feel that we all understand our like, you understand my disabilities, I understand your disabilities?
I think that people need to be more educated more on their disability, because a lot of people, they don't know about their disability, or they think they don't have a disability. And I think that there's lots of misconceptions about different disabilities. I think that the more doctors and parents and different people educate people on different disabilities, then they will understand how to treat people, and so that it gets better. I think that that's the misconception.
Okay. What about racism? Do you feel that there's racism in our community, or not really?
Well,
Okay.
so yeah, I do agree that there is racism, and I think that I don't have to deal with it as much as someone who would have to deal with, that barrier. But I do have empathy for someone who would have to deal with that. Is that a good answer?
This is your interview, so I'm letting you answer the way you see fit. What do you hope for the future for our community?
Well, I just hope, that, like you said, I hope that there is less racism. Like, we just all accept each other for our differences, the LGBT community, the people that are on the spectrum, everybody just accepts each other for who they are, and just, and I hope that would happen someday. But I think, again, I think that's gonna be a long time, before we get to that point.
Yeah, it is going to be a long time before we get to that point. And I feel that there's going to be lots of conversations that need to happen before that happens. What do you
I
feel?
I feel like we need to have these tough conversations with people about how things need to be changed. But I feel like, I feel like you have to address tough topics to get anywhere in life and to move forward, even though that they're kind of a tough conversation to have with people, because nothing will change if we don't. So that's what I believe, is that being an activist and whatever, being an advocate is having those tough conversations.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to say to people out there?
I just think that anybody can do anything they put their mind to, and I feel like everyone's amazing. And regardless of what you're dealing with, I feel like you can do anything you put your mind to. And if the only obstacle that some people have is, overcoming the barrier that they feel like they can't do something, otherwise you can just prove those haters wrong that they that you can't do anything.
Okay. And again, your name is
Ashley Matthew.
Ashley Matty. Is there a way people can reach you if they have questions, or if they just want to learn more about the work you do?
They can email me at ashleymatthew@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you very much.